is up guys, Dronex here, and today we're going to be speaking about the Marksmanship Hunter. A few things to know is you no longer have damage. You're going to have three main skills, which is Chimera Shot, Aim Shot, and Steady Shot. And then obviously your selectables through talents. So, first couple things you should know about, we'll get into as basics is a particular passive, is careful aim. So increasing the critical strike chance of your steady shot, focusing shot, that's a talent, is the focusing shot, and aim shot by 60% on targets who are above 80% health or while rapid fire is active. So what you want to do is to try and get 40% critical strike rating on your hunter if you're playing marksman, so that usually your first shot is going to be a guaranteed crit, and if you've fully geared, usually that first shot will push a target below the 80% threshold. Usually, when I say usually, that's basically firing a aim shot with a backed up chimera shot following it at the same time after cast. Now, to get 40% crit's not too difficult, because lethal shots makes you gain 5% more critical strike stat from all sources, plus having a crit pet as well, which will give you just 5% flat. As you can see, I'm sitting on about 43.8% critical strike. Now, my gems are not optimized for marksman, as I don't main marksman. I actually have critical strike and mastery because I play survival. A lot of people say crit haste is the way to play survival. I prefer mastery because it improves all magic damage dealt. And the thing about the survival hunter series is every single piece of damage it does is magic damage. But we'll get into survival in the next video. So we've still got pretty much just full crit. So getting crit's not the tricky bit at all. So if I pop rapid fire, I've got 100% crit chance on my aim shot, chimera shot, and my steady shot. Actually, I don't think it was chimera. No, just aim shot. Now, to make the best of when I rapid fire for maximum amount of shots being put out with aim shot during that period is Thrill of the Hunt. 6% chance per 10 focus spent on focus cost. The next 3 aim shots cost 20 less. Now this is huge. What you want to do is, once you get this proc, literally focus cap. Usually focus capping, I would say, is bad, but in marksman's case it seems to be designed around dumping it and filling it back to full and dumping it, because everything's so expensive, and that's pretty much how it's going to have to be played. So you want to fill up to max once you get this proc, pop your rapid fire, and then just start unloading your aim shots and chimera shot as it comes off cooldown, because it hits like a freight train. So what you're looking at with chimera shot, like currently I haven't got buffs, is it's doing 10k flat. Now I'm just going to take Crystal Steady and Well-Fed buff. We'll see how much this increase is, so just give me a few seconds. Okay, not a huge increase. So 10-ish K. Now on a crit, that'll be around 20k life, which is quite a lot considering my hit pool's not even it's only like just short of 80k. So that's a rather large amount of damage. Following, like aim shots that will do the same crit for around 20k. So the whole idea around marksman is expensive costing, casting shots that hit like freight trains. The whole idea is to fire a couple of shots and kill your target really quick. And I've found it quite amazing for killing disc priests. Disc priests are really broken at the moment, but it's amazing when you fire a couple of shots. When you fire a couple of shots with the trank shot going off first or following behind, whichever way. So usually it's fire a trank shot followed by an aim shot into a chimera shot, which will, the trank shot removes the bubble, and then they get smacked in the face for around 40k damage, if both crit, which is quite a lot of damage. And then following up with like Barrage. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm running Barrage. Glaive Toss is an amazing skill. I use it in BM or Survival. Power Shot I was running for a little bit because it hit up to the same amount as Chimera Shot, and if not a little bit more, like 12k physical damage. That's like 24k crit for 15 focus, but you cannot cast it on the run. That's the only problem. The only way you can cast it on the run is using Aspect or Fox. So it was nice, and the knockback was pretty cool, but you had to stand still to use it. So I turned away from using it, as Barrage you can use while moving. Apart from the downside is it costs 60 focus, so it's pretty expensive. It channels, but the thing with Barrage is, unlike Power Shot, as far as I can tell, I've never been interrupted casting a Barrage. I've been interrupted multiple times by kicks, pummels, counter shots while using a Power Shot, but never with Barrage. Never have I ever had my Barrages interruptible. So as far as I'm aware, now, if I'm wrong, don't get all bent out of shape because you're like, you said it was uninterruptible. I'm saying off experience, I don't think it's interruptible. So that's another thing, but it does 16,000 damage to the primary target, and then an average of 8k to everything else around. So you can have a total, if every single tick crits on that 2.58 seconds, you do up to, I'd say, let's see, around 32k damage if everything crit on the primary, and then about 16k to everything else. And Barrage fires in a huge arc, like it's almost 180 degrees. Like I'll show you. And 20-second cooldown is pretty good for that amount of damage. So I'll just close this. I'll fire a Barrage. Literally hits everything in front of you. Now these numbers are wrong because you shoot stuff, hit anything that's lower level than you, the damage gets multiplied. Something Blizzard did to make it easy to run old raids and stuff and solo them much easier, but makes it a lot easier to camp lobies, which I really hate people who do that on the Hellfire Peninsula. Horde and Alliance do it, so it's not like I can say Horde's guilty bastards, because Alliance does it as well. So that's that. Some useful tips and tricks with the Hunter, just in general, is you can aspect the Fox and mount on the run. So I'll just show you. What this is useful for is you're just in world flying around and someone turtle shells you. And a paladin do it to me the other day. I waited for the combat to drop while we were falling, then hit Aspect the Fox, casted my mount while falling, then stayed my fall on my flying mount. Pally wasted a bubble for no reason, and the cooldown on his turtle shell. Pretty good. It's also good for like on Twin Peaks, for the Alliance anyway, because when you come out the front ramp, it's so high that you can glider to the midfield, a little past the bridge. And what you can do, as soon as you reach the bridge, before you're about to reach your landing, you can aspect the Fox and mount almost on landing, and just keep going without having to stop, which is really nice. Yeah, and probably the biggest gripe I've got about marksman, you need to glyph your counter shot to stop casting, because there's times where it's really critical to interrupt something, and it has to be done, but you're going to hate cancelling your cast because you might be 3/4 away casting through your aim shot, 2.25 second cast. It's going to piss you off because you wasted 1-point-something odd seconds that could have been damage outputting when you had to interrupt something, like Penance, for example. So it's probably the biggest thing I hate about marksman at the moment. and also the fact that it doesn't have any instantaneous shots, apart from Chimera Shot, that's on cooldown, but it no longer has an Arcane Shot, and because that was something I used to play Marksman for, I played it as the Arcane spam. I never played the aim shot style. Blizzard really wants Marksman to be around casting and big hitting, which is fair enough. It's just, I find it really hard to get into playing Marksman. Another thing to note, multi-shot hits really, really stupidly hard at the moment. I don't know why, but I've hit people, like mobs of people, for around 80k crits. Oh, sorry, not 80, 8k, up to 8k crits with it, and this has to do with it. Your critical strikes with your multi-shot will cause your next multi-shots to cost 25 less focus, making them cost 15, and cause 60% additional damage for 5 seconds. What's better about this than it is for Beast Cleave and BM, Beast Cleave requires their pet to be at melee range of their targets. Multi-shot covers a much wider distance, and it's guaranteed to hit your things. It's more instantaneous. Beast Cleave actually requires your pet to be on targets, and it's just not that great, apart from the fact that Beast Cleave actually hits really, really hard. There's just got so many drawbacks to it. This, on the other hand, is because when you mix it with your Thrill of the Hunt, it basically, you got free multi-shots. And I cleaved 4 guys at once in a BG with Marksman, just multi-shot spamming them. And then obviously throwing in Barrage on cooldown, because you're firing free multi-shots, you're not spending your focus. You spend 60 focus and you've got 40 left. By the time it's come off cooldown, your focus is already regened, and, well, those 4 targets are probably already dead. So Marksman's AoE cleave capabilities is pretty insane, as well as their single target capabilities as well, which is quite a great benefit about Barrage. It's got a lot of damage baked in on single target, while also having a lot of multi-target capability as well. So Marksman's pretty cool. It's just not my playstyle. Might be yours. So we'll just go ahead and get into a BG and show you how it fares. Alright, here we go. Plenty of go on there.
Mind Bender. Trinketed.
Yep.
Cloak down.
Never mind, rogue.
Iron bark.
No! Fucking monks.
Barkskin.
Some kill shots.
Kick.
Now we'll kill Rob. No. Fucking shit, can't disc grease chewed up.
Countered. Psychic Scream. Mindbender. P.S. Fear word. P.S. down.
As you can see, I'm not exactly good at marksman. Just don't like the playstyle, it's too clunky. Right. Let's try something a bit different. Sacrifice some crit for some mastery. Lol.
Countered. Iron Bark. Wyvern Sting. Countered. Countered. Mind bender. Psychic scream. Trinketed.
Well, it looks like they've fixed the bug with the explosive trap when it's glyphed, because normally what it would do, while it was bugged for a while, say if you put a trap behind someone, they wouldn't head in the direction towards you, opposite to the trap. They would actually go back like you dumped it in front of them. It was a glitch. Basically, they would only fling the targets in the direction you were facing from whence the trap was launched. So that's been fixed, which is good. So you can toss a trap on the side of someone and it'll launch it on the left hand side, it'll launch them right. If you put it on the right hand side, it'll launch them left. So if you're having issues with that on your hunter, it appears that's been fixed now. As you can see, like when I trapped the rogue and then I put a trap behind him, it slung him towards me instead of away, or the direction, basically the direction I wanted him to go in the water. So that's that. Okay guys, I hope this little overview is helpful to you. Something I'd also like to quickly mention before I wrap up is I have a feeling that once you hit that level 100 tier, once Warlords is released and we hit 100, I have a feeling Marksman is going to probably be the best benefit from low morph because of the whole design around hitting the targets with high impact damage, being able to run around without a pet because pets no longer provide crowd control. You'll still get to provide which buff you want, so you might, if you want mastery or crit or whichever buff you would want that your pets could normally give, you can choose which one you want, and you will get a 30% damage increase, which I think will be really good for marksmen. I don't think that will benefit amazingly well from exotic munitions, which I think exotic munitions will be definitely much more better for survival, or at least for the way I play survival, where I stack mastery for increased magic damage, and this is basically going to make all my auto attacks do magic damage as well, which will quite literally be 100% magic damage application. So that's something. And another thing to consider is, because it is a kiting class, you do want speed, and something that Blizzard has done that you never used to be able to do. Aspect of the cheetah never used to stack with other movement speed buffs. It still doesn't, except for certain passive ones that you get permanently. So, as you can see, my movement speed's 150%. Why is it like this? Because minor speed increase buff from enchants is now 10%, not 8%, and it stacks with just about anything. It happens on rogues, like if you're running Night Stalker on a rogue, when you're in stealth with that, boot enchant, running burst of speed, as well as what I've got here is another one in the gem, providing it as well. So you got, with a rogue, you have 15% on base, just for being a rogue, 15% for Night Stalker, so while you're in stealth you're moving 30% just there already. Add your 2 minor run speed increases, that's another 20%, so that's 50% increase there already, while stealth. And for memory, I think burst of speed is 75% increase, so that puts you to 225% movement speed while stealthed with a rogue. Basically, rogues, if they're stealthed and running this loadout, will actually be faster than Pallies and Death Knights on mounts by 5%. really amazing for catching mounted people, and makes sprint irrelevant, because even while out of stealth you do, there's a 205% movement speed. You, like, mounts can't catch you except if they're pally or DK. So this is a pretty cool feature, is just because even when you take damage and your aspect of cheese turned off, because you'll want glyph, so if you take damage you don't get dazed, it just turns it off and you can go la 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 la. It you have 20% increased movement speed on base. Why is this good? Because you're a kiting class, you want to be maintaining range. Now anyone who's not running this base increased movement speed and doesn't have any class benefits to increase their base movement speed, let's just say a warrior for example, is not running these two increased movement speed buffs, you're already pulling range from him just from walking. You're going to get further and further away from him eventually. So this really does help with keeping range on targets. So I personally really rate this on kite style classes, so casters and stuff. It also kind of makes it mandatory for melee classes, because if all the range classes are doing this, melee classes have to do it to negate the effects. So, and besides, it's not like they're bad stats anyway, because this one's giving agility and increased speed, and mastery increased movement speed, because I like the mastery. If you're running marksman, the crit gem's probably better. It increases your crit chance as well as critical strike effect, so your crits will actually do more damage, but I like speed. That's just my personal opinion. Hope this was helpful to you guys. If it was, please like, subscribe, comment if you want to see more. Next following up will be the rundown on survival, and then I'll be doing a rundown on beast mastery, and then you can decide for yourselves as to which ones you think is the best. Anyway, that's all for now. Catches.